My girlfriend, 23 female, is raging angry because I, 23 male, slept with someone else when I thought we were broken up. My girlfriend and I have been together as boyfriend and girlfriend since we were 15, 8 years now. We were both the first people we'd ever slept with and have been together since then. Since we kind of matured together along with our relationship. It was basically a high school romance that turned into a real serious relationship. We were out for dinner on a date last weekend, and we started talking about things and about marriage. I told her what I'd said before, that I don't really want marriage, at least not now. It's not a thing for me. If I do go down that way, I'd at least want it in my 30s. She started insisting that what she wants is a marriage, and she wants it now or at least a promise that it will happen soon. I told her I couldn't promise that. It's not for me, it's not something I want. She accused me of being selfish, and we got into a big fight and argument. I then got a text from my sister that my dad was in hospital. I told my girlfriend I had to go. She wanted to resolve the marriage thing now, and for me to say I'll commit to a marriage someday now. I told her no, I couldn't do that, and I had to go now, it was urgent. She said if you leave now, we're through. I told her sorry, I had to go. She was crying and very angry and the whole night was ruined, but I had to go to the hospital to see my dad. I got there, and things weren't that serious. He was being discharged shortly after I got there. Everything was fine. I tried to call my girlfriend. She wouldn't answer. Next morning I tried to call her again, but then I got some texts from her saying we're through and she never wants to see me again. Our relationship is over. She doesn't want to have anything to do with me. We're done. I called her, and she answered this time and she pretty much reiterated what she said. I was devastated and in a state of shock. I was really miserable. I went to my friend's house and my friends were comforting me, telling me everything's okay, I'm better off without her. I don't need her, she's not worth my time. They told me they were gonna take me out and were gonna make sure I had a good time and could forget about her. We ended up going to some bars and clubs, but I didn't really have it in me to hit on any girls. But I ended up sleeping with one of the female friends that had gone out with us. The next morning I thanked her and all that, and we said it was just a one-night thing. We wouldn't let it impact our friendship. Things were going okay for 2 days when I got another call from my girlfriend. We talked a bit and said she was sorry for our fight and for her shouting at me. She said she didn't mean it when she said we were done. She was just caught up in the moment and was angry. She expected that I would have gotten that. So our relationship resumed. The next day after that I decided to open up to her about what happened on the day we talked on the phone, and how I had slept with my female friend that day. She was devastated and started crying, shouting at me. She accused me of cheating and being in butthole. I told her I did nothing wrong, I thought we were broken up. She said I should have known we weren't, as if I am supposed to somehow read her mind. She's been basically trying to guilt me this entire time, and has told me I have to give up that close circle of friends I went out with that day. I told her I can't do that, but she's insisting on it. She keeps saying you're the one who cheated, not me, and keeps questioning if she can be with me after I cheated, even though it's ridiculous to say that I cheated. Am I in the wrong here? Is she right in saying I cheated and I'm in butthole? Or is she just being crazy and I should not get back with her? Or should I agree to what she's saying and try to make things work? Too long didn't read. Girlfriend broke up with me. I slept with someone else. She said she didn't really break up with me. She was just angry. Is angry at me and calling me a cheater. Hey guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me out. Thanks. I actually do get why she's hurt after 8 years together. It only took you a few hours after your breakup to sleep with a friend. Not just a random woman, but a friend you knew while you were dating. If I was in her shoes, I'd be devastated. But here's the thing, you broke up. That is abundantly clear. You are no longer obligated to your ex-girlfriend. She's allowed to be devastated that you can move on so quickly, and you're allowed to move on as quickly as you want. If you try to protect her feelings, though, neither of you will really move on. And if you insist on calling her crazy, that's still getting caught up in her feelings. It probably makes you feel good to call her crazy. But trust me, just moving on with your life will feel better. Cut your losses. It doesn't appear that Opus has replied to any comment. I think he's watched an old episode of Friends, made up a lovely story and posted it here. We were on a break. Me, 30 female, with my fiancé, 29 male, of 12 years, waiting for a package from the girl he cheated on me with, first post ever. Whoa. Mandatory apologies for my English, details, and places muddled, just in case. Well, the title says it all. My fiancé, Oliver, and I have been together for 12 years, stuck together through thick and thin, LDR, the usual problems of a couple starting off very young, etc. In the last years, he has been struggling a lot with sadness, anxiety, but he is slowly getting better. At some point of our LDR we were living in separate countries, and during his stay he became very good friends with two other people, Ben and Sarah. The three of them bonded through shared experiences, same mental health issues, etc. At some point, he came back, we started living together, eventually became engaged. We decided on a long engagement to plus years, since we were both settled on long academical paths. Our relationship, that had at some points been turbulent, settled very well as we both acquired maturity and got to really know each other during our daily lives. Things were peachy. 3 years ago, Sarah moved closer to where we lived for a 2-year stay. We were all good friends, everything good, etc. Long story short, my fiancé cheated on me with her short before she left the country, emotional affair included. Found it by snooping. Bad on me, I was devastated. I cut contact with her immediately, demanded him to do the same, and almost broke up with him. We were separated 2 months. It was rough, because at that time I had no access to therapy or counseling, and I was really far away from home, but my friends were kick-ass and supported me emotionally all that time. After these 2 months, and a lot of soul-searching, we took the first tentative steps to be together again. It took me a long time to forgive him and to recover my trust on him, but little by little we healed and we made it work again. This was 2 years ago, and things are really good. Ben did not take the news of their separation too kindly, and he has been passive-aggressive to Oliver about him not talking to Sarah. Oliver has reacted well, and has been adamant about not contacting him again. 2 weeks ago, Ben told fiancé that he had given our new address to Sarah, because she wanted to send us a package with stuff belonging to Oliver. He says that she has nothing of him, and I believe it. They have never lived together. Most of their friendship they have been living in different places. He has been really anxious about all this matter. He does not want any contact with her. I personally do not care about her, but he is dreading the day the package arrives. If it comes when I am in the house, I just will throw it away, but I do not want him to receive it and get an anxiety attack. So, our relationships. What is your advice? I know I do not have to protect my fiancé from this stuff, but he is hurting and I do want to support him. I do not think it is compromising material, because I already found the compromising material. Well, I think it is a passive-aggressive way of reminding us of her existence. And what shall we do with his friend Ben? Too long didn't read? 2 years ago, my fiancé cheated. After some time, I took him back and we are strong now, but the other girl is sending us a mystery package. Fiancé is not taking it well. Maybe open the package together and laugh at how ridiculous she is, or maybe throw it away together and still laugh at them. Also ignore Ben and let him know what he's doing is very inappropriate, and you hope he finds a good life and don't talk to him anymore. I think he mystery package contains photos of them. Anything he gave her as a gift or she did. Could be a stuffed animal, it could be a used wrapper, who knows. But I know I'll be pretty darn curious. The problem would be opening the package, and it opens a new can of worms for your relationship. He could be hiding something, and that's why he's nervous, or he never hid anything and he's nervous about what it could be. Edit, it could be the same compromising things you found years ago, but she doesn't know that's what you found. Me, 30 female, with my fiancé, 29 male, of 12 years, waiting for a package from the girl he cheated on me with update. So, I know this is ancient history, but we got an update, and I have several private messages asking me for an update if something happened. So yes, we got the package, last week, and it did not disappoint. After reading the advice here, I Saturday down with him. We decided we did not want the ducking thing, so he wrote a message to Ben saying tell Sarah we do not want anything from her, and then he blocked him. This all happened last year. Meanwhile, life went on. He changed jobs. He is still in academy, and now he is way more happy and relaxed. My job is well paid and interesting, and I can keep some other projects on the side. We got married this summer, and our wedding was perfect for us. Lively, bombastic, lots of food and alcohol, and our friends and family together. It was expensive, but we did not give a damn. This month, my husband is in a conference trip in another continent, so I am home alone. When I arrived home in the evening, there was a package addressed to him in the mailbox, with a stamp from a place where I know she lived, and a sender we don't know. I thought for a moment, oh my, this may be her, but then I thought that it would be pretty crazy of her to send it now. That night, I was Skyping with my husband, and made a comment about the parcel. I mentioned the name of the sender, and he did not know the name, so I proposed that I opened it with him on camera. And well, turns out I was right on the money. It contained several postcards, wishing him happy birthdays and Merry Christmases, all unsigned. Also little notes such as dance in the rain, look at the clouds, walk barefoot, that kind of platitudes. And it had a book, a young adult romance book. I remember saying aloud, oh, for duck's sake, when I saw it. Meanwhile, my husband had a face like he had seen a cockroach in his sandwich. The title of the novel is Stargirl. It is about a girl who arrives to a high school and she is very quirky and magical and she dances in the rain and plays the ukulele, and she is very misunderstood by the normies. The narrator dates her, but realizes that he cannot be with her because deep down is afraid of not fitting in. So he dumps her and then regrets it forever. It is not a super bad book. I like the prose, but despite the intentions of the author, the heroine is too much of a special snowflake, and her behavior often delves into creepy territory. The book itself had a sad face and the dedication page, and a small note saying read the sequel. You will understand. It was crammed with notes and small script, and sometimes the letters had been traced several times over. All of the notes were very idealized descriptions of the heavy medication, about how magical and beautiful she was, about the things she did, etc. Some of the notes were also about the main character agonizing about staying with her or leaving her to fit in, or descriptions about how they made out. Yuck, there were also drawings of the heroine, who looked like an idealized version of Sarah. I am not gonna lie. I laughed my butt off at this ducking manic pixie dream wannabe. My husband was less amused and more creeped out. He said that she was psycho, and that he did not want that poop at home. I kinda forgot about the book for the following days, because last week was my week from hell, and I had to work 70 hours, I normally work 30, because, apart from my job, I took a 2-week project working in-house for a company, and I organized an art exhibition in the weekend. Also, I got pretty bad health news from a close friend, thinking curable and degenerative, so the topic of Sarah was out of my mind. Yesterday, I finally had time to think about it, and I got angry at that butthole. They have not met in 3 years. Who the duck does this dweeb think she is? Etc. etc. I considered unblocking her briefly to tell her to stay the duck away from us, but discarded the idea. Then I considered finding out her address and sending her a copy of Holes by Louis Setcher and 20 minimalist peeps printed between the pages, with a note: this is a riddle. If you solve it, I will leave my wife for you. Love. Fiancé. Then I realized I would rather ignore her, so I threw the notes in the recycling bin and I put the book in a free box so somebody can take it home. That is all. No threats. No pictures, no positive pregnancy tests. It was anticlimactic, but honestly it was a welcome distraction in a heavy week. I don't like that she has our current address, but I do not think she will be sending more stuff. If she does, we will tell her to piss up a rope. The funny thing is that I don't hate her. She is in butthole, but this is just a sad to hate. To mock, okay, but not to hate. Too long didn't read, got the package more than a year after, when fiancé was not at home. I opened it with him on camera. It was pretty weird poop, but ultimately harmless. Ignored and moved on. Thank you guys for the advice you gave in the previous post. God, I read Stargirl when I was like 14. I associated with her for all of a week before realizing that she was definitely a try-hard manic pixie dream girl whose sole purpose in life was being more unique than anybody.